Hello, my scrappy friends, and a big welcome to my YouTube channel once again today. It's Melinda Sweetman here with you, and I am sharing for cut to you. This is the April cut of the month cut file. Here is my layout. And I am showcasing these two photos. They're a little bit smaller than 3x3. And I decided to back my cut file a little bit differently. You can see I have backed the words with a pattern paper. I'm using the Coco Vanilla Studio collection these days, and I have my Cameo cut out those letters for me. And then for the floral, I decided I would do some Copic colouring. This was really super fun to do. I feel like it gives it a really beautiful soft finish and creates some extra like dimension and interest. I've used E000, E00, and E something else. I can't remember which one, I think, for the petals. And you can see I've just done some flick blending on those. In the center of the flower, I did some darker E's. I feel like it was like an E55 or something. And then for the leaves, I think I used some BGs, I think. I just kind of matched the colours as best I could to the collection. Oh, I think I just found my little E21, E00 and E000. I did a bunch of testing just to work out which colours worked best with this collection, knowing which colours I wanted to pull on. And I did really want to pull on the green and that orangey colour, since I've got the orange in the background. I can't find my little test with the greens on it though, so I'm not sure what that colour combo is. If I find it, I will make sure I leave a note in the description box below. So all I'm doing here, you saw that I have trimmed off that extra leaf on the right hand side of the flower. It covered up too much of the photo. I knew that was going to be an option when I coloured this, so I just thought I'd play with photos and see how it all fit together. I did try to tuck that into a couple of other places, but couldn't quite get it to work, so it's actually still sitting on my desk, but I have pulled it out. I decided at this point, I've got my cut file stuck down here. I decided that I wanted to add a little bit of mixed media to my background, which I thought tied everything beautifully together with the pattern paper that I'm using as well. I'm using some salvaged patina distress oxide, and this stencil is a Colour Blast B Arty stencil. It's quite an old one actually, but it gave like the texture that I wanted. You can see I'm just lifting things up and applying colour and checking where it is. I don't want to add too much. I also don't want to add not enough so that I end up covering it all up. I did very carefully peel up where I've stuck things down, and I'm just applying that through the stencil. I feel like that's a little bit too harsh a line on the left hand side, so I'm going to go back in and add it a little bit more haphazardly, I guess, so that there's not a harsh line there. Happy with how that's looking. You can see I've added stitching around the border of my layout and around my two photos. These frames that I'm working with here are actually from that orange pattern paper in the background. I've just cut up the ones that were closest to the edge, so I've got half frames, but I really like they, it kind of works as a label, as a frame, as just an interesting piece there. So I've layered those two up, and you can see I'm mucking around with this. I do muck around with this for a little while. Sometimes I've been struggling a little bit lately. I've had a lot of things happening, so I was struggling a little bit when I was creating this, just to get into the right frame of mind. But that's okay. I love how this layout turned out. It's very soft and pretty, and it documents this cute little story. These photos were actually taken back in 2020. One of my very good friends had a new baby. My eldest is the on the right there. Bless him, he loves babies. When this is the first time that my kids met her, she was 4 days old, I think. And my eldest, was absolutely like smitten with her. And you can see in the photo on the left, there's another boy kind of leaning over my two boys, looking at the baby. That's her elder brother. He absolutely dotes on her even now. It's the cutest thing ever. And then, like, her older brother was trying to, give me the baby, and my son was like, nope, I'm holding her. He was absolutely, totally smitten with her and would not give her up for anything. It was the funniest thing, which is why I met her before he did. Anyway, and you can see in the left-hand photo, so my eldest is the one holding her, and then her brother is the one kind of in the middle of that photo, and then to the left is my youngest, and he doesn't understand what all the fuss is about new babies. Bless him. He's like, yep, it's a baby and it's breathing, and there's something to do over here. It's really quite hilarious. And then all of a sudden, once these little babies become toddlers and he can play with them and they interact with him, he's suddenly much more interested in them. It's really cute. So yeah, I wanted to document that little moment. As you noticed then, I did stick down on my photos and those embellishments up in the top left. I wanted to add a bit more of this mixed media down to the bottom here. I've got that frame that I'm going to run across, vertically underneath my title, and I'm using a word banner strip from the ephemera pack to cover up that straight edge, which works beautifully. I did leave all of this mixed media in. There's not much here, but I did want to show you how, if you forget to do mixed media or get to a certain point, you're like, I think I want to add some, this worked well enough. I am using this is a tiny little blending brush, but I'm kind of dabbing it on through the stencil. I just wanted a little bit, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I wasn't aiming for perfect, so it worked really well. And then I can stick down the other pieces that I'm sure of. I did play with those puffy alphas for the word sweet. They don't stay where they are. I didn't really like them there, so they do move. I'm really liking the way this is coming together, but I'm looking at it going, I think it needs a little bit more, but not a heap more. I'm going to move these now, and they go straight onto the photo here. Just going to make sure I get the position correct. I like them above the stitching rather than over the stitching. I'm just going to move those. And then I'm going to add a little bit of embellishment. I'm going through the ephemera pack, and so the stuff on top of the photos is the stuff I'm thinking I may use, and everything to the right hand side I'm like, nope, not quite right. And spoiler alert, again, I don't use any of this stuff. None of it. Thought I'd use the butterfly. I wanted to bring a little bit more orange down to that corner because there's a lot of that blue colour. Off comes the butterfly, and then I remembered I had these gorgeous little gold glittery hearts. So I'm going to play with the placement. Tried it in a bunch of different places, and I really like it there. And I thought I would add another one just to balance it out, and my first instinct was here, and I should have just left it here. I did move it around a bit, but I should have just left it there. Then the puffy stickers, like I said, I wanted to bring a little bit more orange down to the bottom, so I found that orange puffy sticker. And then I have got a couple of these little puffy hearts, and I go with like the orange and that Salvage Patina-ish colour. And again, I muck around with these way too much. But I have those stuck down now. I'm going to add this sticker here, and I think that's it. I'm not sure, I can't remember. Oh, I do try to get this sticker in. It says, "Oh my heart," and there it goes, right there. I've got to glue all my bits down, so I'll just use a little bit of my Nuvo adhesive, just checking if they need sticking down, and they do. This little heart up the top here gives me grief, and I'm looking for my little, my gold one of those. It's somewhere. I don't know where. I need to find it. Yeah, so I'm just sticking everything down here. I'm going to add my date stamp. Oh, I'm just adding this with a little bit of foam so that it sits exactly where I want it to, and a little bit of my wet adhesive as well. I do add the date to the left hand side and my journaling, and that is my page all done. There is my flower. I love the way that turned out. Have you ever tried doing something different with a cut file other than backing it with pattern paper or vellum? If you have, leave me a comment below. Let me know. I'd love to know. I'd love to see. As always, thank you so much for choosing to spend your scrappy time with me. I truly do appreciate it, and I shall see you in my next process video. Have a fantastic scrappy day, my friends.